If you were following along with me in the previous lesson, you know how easy it is to add TOC books to your default table of contents. Now it's time to start adding content to those TOC books, as well as creating different versions of your table of contents. So here we are with our How to Use Lynda.com project. You'll notice my topic list has grown. I've added some additional topics, and you can get caught up with me if you have the exercise files by going to the 0109 subfolder where you'll find the How to Use Lynda.com project with these updated topics. If we go over to Table of Contents in the Project Manager pod and click the plus sign to expand, we do have one table of contents. It's How to Use Lynda.com Help. And if we click there, we can actually click again to change the name, because I want to add a little bit more information here. Let's type in RoboHelp. When you press enter, you've changed the name of the table of contents. It's still the default, and it still has the TOC books we added in the previous lesson, and now it's time to start adding content. So there's a number of different ways to do this. For example, if we want to add some pages to Getting Started, we can click the book next to Getting Started. And then the second button just above here in our TOC pod is New TOC Page. Give it a click. You can type in a page title, or watch what happens when you go down below and select Welcome to Lynda.com. It becomes the page title as well. If you wanted to, you could edit that up here and it will be linked to that page. When you click OK, it's added to Getting Started. The other thing that should be added to Getting Started is down below here on our topic list, how to use this online help system. So another way to add it is to simply click and drag it up to Getting Started. So you want to see Getting Started highlighted. If you're highlighting Welcome to Lynda.com, it might end up above or below Lynda.com, depending on where you let go. But if you want it to be in the Getting Started book, let go, and automatically it becomes the second topic. Another way is to right-click. Let's say if we go to Navigating the User Interface and right-click the book, you'll see New, and there it is, Page in the pop-up menu. Select Page, and just as if we had hit the button to create a new page, we can select one of our browsing options here. Let's go to Browsing by Author and click OK. Notice it gets added here to Navigating the User Interface. Really, it should be inside the Browsing book, which is nested inside Navigating. So let's go to the little page icon, click and drag it up so that Browsing is highlighted. When you see Browsing highlighted, that's where you want to let go, and that way it's going to be inside the Browsing book. Now there's some other topics down below that belong in there too. We can add more than one at a time. Let's select Browsing by Subject, hold down your Shift key and choose Browsing Software Titles. Click and drag both of those now, and make sure you don't hover over some of these other tabs to see other pods. You want to go right over the TOC pod tab down below, and when the Browsing book is highlighted, let go. And now you've got all three under Browsing, just like that. So that's a good looking table of contents. It is our default for RoboHelp. Let's say we're going to have a printed publication as well based on all of these topics. Well, in that case, some of the topics don't belong, like how to use this online help system, for example. So in that case, we might want a different version of the table of contents for that output. To create a new table of contents, we could go back into our table of contents pod here and click the Create/View Table of Contents button. Now this allows us to do two things. Choose the table of contents we want to be looking at and working on. In this case, we only have our default. It's highlighted or selected. So our only other option is to create a new one. And when you click New, you get to give it a name, How to Use again. But this time we'll do Printed Help. If you click OK, you'll create a brand new empty table of contents, and you can start adding TOC books and topics and so on. Another option though is to copy an existing table of contents, our default one for example, to give us a bit of a head start. So we'll click that checkbox, click the Browse button that will allow us to browse to the How to Use Lynda.com RoboHelp, and click Open. Now it appears in the field, and when you click OK, you've actually created a new table of contents, and it's the one you're viewing actually. You can see it up here in the title bar, How to Use Lynda.com printed. It's just showing up there, the beginning of it. And if we click our Create View button, you'll notice that How to Use Lynda.com printed help is selected. So if you want to view the other one, select it, click View. You want to go back to the printed help version, go back to that same button, select the printed version, click View, and you're looking at it. So you get the same hierarchy here, the same layout of TOC books, and now you can add the appropriate pages. So in this case, maybe Welcome and Memberships belong inside the Getting Started. We'll drag them in. And we want to reorder them, so we'll click and drag the Welcome to Lynda.com icon. So it's just above Memberships and let go. And then the others we want to add to Browsing. So we'll select all three, add it to the Browsing. So when it's highlighted, let go. It's inside that TOC book now. And again, you can rearrange these if you want to. So that's all there is then to adding a new table of contents and then adding content or pages to those TOC books that are already there.